Whatever happened to me happened because I've always been terrified of failure. I don't want as much to succeed as much as I don't want to fail. I come from a very normal, lower middle class family. I saw a lot of failure. My father was a beautiful man and the most successful failure in the world. My mother also failed to stay long enough with me to see me become a big movie star. We were quite poor actually, and let me tell you, poverty is not an ennobling experience at all. Poverty entails fear and stress and sometimes depression. I watched my parents go through this several times. At an early age after my parents died, I equated poverty with failure. I just didn't want to be poor. So when I got a chance to act in films, it wasn't out of any creative desire. It was purely out of the fear of failure and poverty. Most of the films I signed were discards of better-known actors, and the producers could not find anyone else to do them. I did them all to make sure that I was working to avoid unemployment. I worked very hard, there were other people around it, and I became a big star. The films became big hits. My life has also been in constant play with what the world calls success. Success is a wonderful thing, but it tends not to be the sort of experience that we learn from. It's not pleasant to fail, it's tough. All of us experience it. Firstly, it's not the absence of failure that makes success. It is your response to failure that actually helps to buffer the reverses that you experience. I personally have one response to failure: pragmatism. A recognition and belief that if one approach does not work, then the other will or might. Failure also gives me an incentive to greater exertion, harder work, which invariably leads to later success in most cases. Repeated failure has taught me to stop pretending I'm someone else. It's given me the clarity to stick to things that really matter to me instead of distracting me from my core. Good art is honest art. A man may be an artist, a writer, a sculptor, an actor, or a totem pole carver. Whatever he is, if what he creates is true to himself, it becomes a vivid testimonial to human creativity. If it lacks honesty, its entire premise is a waste. Life as a creative person is like walking on a tightrope. You have to know and learn that life is not just a checklist of acquisitions, attainments, and fulfillments. Instead, life is difficult and complicated and beyond anyone's control. The humility to know it will help you survive its vicissitudes. Never become cynical about yourself or your life. Becoming cynical about your life is the single most destructive thing you can do. When you are in this place of despair, where the world is tearing you down into yourself, there's only one thing you can do to survive: hang on to who you are inside. The world will be unkind to you. It will not be able to see you. You must learn at such times to be able to see yourself. Failure also gets you to find who your real friends are. The true strength of your relationships only gets tested in the face of strong adversity. Do not be afraid to defy conventions. Do not be afraid to be hungry. And do not be afraid to walk alone if necessary. Because on a tightrope, we all walk alone.
I have a disease. I'm a workaholic, and it's just like being an alcoholic. I just can't give it up.
Be yourself because everybody else is taken.